let's just take a little trip this morning. Showed you some of this getting cleaned. Yeah, it's not done yet. Maybe number one will get pressure washing this today. It needs it. Kind of looks like it could use another quick scrape down, but start pressure washing, cleaning feeders, you knock stuff off, and I usually end up back in here scraping anyway. Usually pull that trough out and dump it and clean the platform and underneath it. And there's still some hard pack in there. It's pretty much pitchfork time. That stretch is textured. You can see it there. This side was broomed when it was done in 1970. And it must have been about the mid or late 80s. We got a little hammer device deal. Electric motor on it. Had, 5 or 6 piston looking things that pointed to the ground. And we roughed it up. Because it just got too slick. And concrete wears. Have not been below the barn at all yet. Usually we go through that hole right there and clean what we can because there is a concrete slab part way out to the poles there. Just right at the opening though. Here's what she looks like this. Looks empty. Number one finish cleaning here. She don't get quite to the wall like I do, but that's fine. Safe tearing the wall up. She did pretty good getting this way. You know, there's none of the floor that's even. It's all dirt. Well, mostly. That whole lower section's all rock. And it's just a touch lower than this section. Where I'm standing is rock. But 3 sections out here, there's no rock. It's all dirt. Then there's rock and then concrete at the gate. In the upper section, there's rock against the feeder mostly. Some here and there to fill in. And she's mumbling something. God only knows what she's mumbling. Oh, she got the majority of it. Yeah, there's still... Seriously, with what's on the floor and everything, there's probably a full load left in here, believe it or not. I mean, right here where you can see it's marked up, well, it's 2 or 3 inches thick here from just what was on the tires coming through. And this was all scraped off. I scraped it off yesterday morning. And there's what's on top of that pole. That pole is there just to keep manure from running out. And what's on top, that's how high it was on there. Then there's this that still has a bunch up here. And that's what she had left. Realistically, there is just about a load right there too. So we got 2 more loads to come out of here, I suppose.
If not a little more.
There's still quite a bit up there. That pen up there, where those 2 calves are, is the biggest pain in the butt. The only way to get into it with a skid steer is where that green gate is. And it is always so slick in here. And that always ends up hard packed and slick. Oh yeah, and if you look on the floor here, we got a low spot here. And a low spot here. Well, the one to the right, that's from the skid steer. The one to the left, it's from the skid steer driving through, but there's actually a tile under there that gravel gets kicked out of there. That's also when the 2-year-olds are standing here at the feeder. That's where their back legs are. So it's like a 3 thing going. And there's a mouse over here in the other pen. Over by the wall. I don't know if I can... She's going to screw it up for me. Yep. I was going to zoom you in so you could see the mouse. But no, she tells the dog to go to the mouse so the calves run. Mouse disappears. Yeah, I can never have any fun.
I had fun with the video yesterday with Grumpy Bite.
So, yeah, this is Friday morning. She's still got to finish cleaning the spreader up. I Haven't really decided yet what the cause was. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the wore out drive sprockets on the back, because that's really the only thing I could find. If the chain climbed up on the tip of a sprocket, it would tear everything out in the front. And hey Cecil, I know you said in the comment, old worn out chain. Those are new chains though. They've only got a couple years, but the sprockets are the original sprockets, which were supposed to have been changed when the chain was put in, but there were no sprockets available, and the people that had the spreader needed the spreader then, not a month later when they finally got the sprockets. So when we bought it from the dealer they traded it to, we got the brand new sprockets with it, and we've just never done it. So that's what we'll be doing probably today, and then see if I can get the idler shaft straightened up, and I'll have to drill it out where the tension rods go through it. So okay, that's plenty here. Somewhere in this video I got a couple of clips. Number one got of me transferring from one spreader to another before the part that I got with her hand shoveling. So you get to see that she did not do much of it by hand. It was actually 2 short bucketfuls that she did by hand. And I'll bring you back here in a second, show you what the spreader really looks like with the junk in it. She's about to fire the thing up, so I'm going to hurry. There's a broken tooth right there. And if you can see how thin those are getting, and the fact that the way that chain is, the outside, if you look there on an angle, the outside one was still pulling, the inside one quit pulling, and it is apart. You can see it there or not. I'm in the wrong spot to see, and I think we're missing a link, but I think I did that when I bumped it with the hoe bucket. These T-bar chains are supposed to be nice and strong and awesome, but part of the reason is because they're easy to work with. But as soon as they're loose enough and you can wiggle them, they can come unhooked easily. So I think we're short one link, I'm not sure. Kind of hard to tell, excuse me, till it gets cleaned up. So you just can take a shovel and get that out. So we tied that up so it's not dragging too hard. And those sprockets, I'm sure I'll have to cut these old ones off the shaft. From what I can tell, pull the cotter key out of the end, and the shaft should slide out the other direction without screwing up the gearbox. That's one thing I was afraid of, because most of them are literally the gearbox shaft. That's what the other one is. It's been cut off and modified. And up here it bent the centerpiece that supports the idler. And it bent that idler shaft. And if you, let's see if I can see this, the end of it's broke off. It broke off at the shaft. So this side of the shaft's only moved back about 1.5 inches, but the other side's, I don't know. We'll see. We'll get her done. She's waiting for me to quit so she can go scrape it out. Vroom, vroom. Well, that's interesting. There used to be a box. Of course, cardboard boxes don't last long, especially when you got them stored down below the shop. A little too much moisture, as if you couldn't tell with the one. The other one's still been in the bag its whole life. I only got 2. They are the same, just like they're supposed to be, but there's only 2. It appears that they have a roll pin that holds them on. I know they're keyed, so that takes that. Hopefully the roll pins will come out easy. The one we were just looking at that was broke, this is so thin here, it's like the edge of my fingernail. So there was just nothing left there to hold it anymore. I mean, I'm 90% sure that's what caused it. It just finally gave up. And once you have one skip a tooth, it's always a mess. I don't care what happens. Usually you bust the hell out of the chain, but this time I don't think it did the chain. I think it just pulled everything else. But I got to see where the other 2 are, or find 2 more. Yay, fun began. I don't know why I could only find 2 of those sprockets, so had to order 2. Couldn't find anything else online, so yep, they're coming from Case IH. And I didn't know this until today, but apparently about a year ago they closed the Portland depot down, so everything comes out of Reno. There's 5 of them in Reno. And oh, the fun stuff. Some kids here looking at steer prospects. We had them all locked up because they all came in for water, so we locked them in. Yeah, my mother didn't like that idea. So after the kids got to see some of the calves, they all went back out on pasture, and they've run all of the pasture so far with kids chasing them. Till my mother got on her bike and went out there, and they all ran back down to the bridge, where I'm sure they're in such a tight little cluster that they can't see anything. But what do I know? First time we've ever had people look at calves that way. Anyway.
No, what do I know for trying to fucking separate the goddamn cows out?
Yeah, if you heard her or not, but yeah, she was trying to separate the cows into the feed barn and leaving the calves outside where they could see them.
Trying to kill myself doing that.
So, got the one chain laying on the ground. Nice thing about T-bars is they're easy to hook and unhook, and as long as they're straight, they don't unhook.
Yeah.
But now we got to get this other side loose and get the shaft out. So, like I say, the fun. I'm not as quick as this as I used to be. It's going to be fun. Hopefully the shaft will slide through that. If I can get the sprockets off. By the way, the roll pins that are in there ain't moving. And let's turn it so I got to where I could beat on it. And oh, there's another one too. She's got to replace another one. There's cotter keys for shears. We replaced the one to the back side there, but not the one to the front. So did that so we could actually use the beater and turn the shaft. Torch not work so good. I'm gonna try the plasma, see if I can gouge it with the plasma. I knew the torch was gonna be a pain in the ass, so anyway, we'll see what happens. Boys and girls, the center 2 sprockets are off. Yeah, I know, they're cast. I wondered about the torch, but sometimes you can at least hog it out. Got a little better with the plasma, but wasn't going to be able to do it, so screw it, cut off wheel. The bad thing is, even with 2 cuts in it, you still got to overcome the roll pins that wouldn't come out. That one's still in there, the outside end's bent. This one's busted off and boogered up. And there was 2 spacers in there too, and had to cut them off with a torch. So, and I about had it. I can only do so much work down here on my knees, landing underneath that. So, and it's not something you want to do from underneath overhead. But that should hopefully, maybe we can move it far enough one way or the other to get the outside ones cut. Yay. What I was hoping was going to be a day-long job is going to be 2 or 3 by the looks of it. So I guess if the parts don't get here till Monday, I probably won't be ready for them till then. But God knows I wasn't going to wait for a stock order and be 10 or 15 days. That's what's BS anymore. You either got to pay shipping on it or wait half a month. Oh well. And hey, there's what that chain looks like when it's not straightened out. It just falls apart. It is kind of nice. Got the front dropped, and I got to looking at the front. I don't know that we got as much damage there as I thought. Still not sure. I mean, it's just about got to be the broken sprocket that did it. I don't know. And that's the other thing, to get in to cut sprockets, I got to cut a tooth off when I do it for each cut. Yay. Oh well. Yeah. Friday the 9th. Hope you all had a good week. Hope you have a good weekend. And if I'm lucky, I can work on this without getting rained on tomorrow. But God knows when it's actually supposed to rain. And she just found out that that grinder motor's a little warm. I don't know why. Those stinking things are, what, inch thick and 3.5 inches wide. And I'm having a hard time stepping out of here. Don't mind me as I fall on my face. And step down the ladder and fall on my face again. But while I'm down here, I'll pick this up, put it away. Oh yeah, one bolt left in there. I don't know if it's rusted in or welded in. Either way, it's going to be fine. Anybody want some used sprockets? I weld them suckers back up for you. And you pay the shipping and the couple hours to make sure they're welded back up good. Oh, well, thanks for watching, everybody.